Hi everyone, Anthony Morgan's Training Academy. Today, it's about chopping tools. Now this is a small cleaver, great little cleaver. I think it's got a bowling ball handle on it, and but not bad. It's 1/4 inch thick. Very good little cleaver. Okay. Now this one didn't come with a sheath. It came in my store here a while back, but it is kind of cool. It does have a nice tip, so you can actually get in places and maybe cut. But it's really good. It's really good for working that position. Now, a lot of times with cleavers, you think, okay, well, cleavers are only used for cooking. Well, a lot of times, if I move this up here and I insert this, I can roll that around if it comes to that. Okay, when you start looking at knife fighting and how the tools were used, they weren't always designed on how we thought they were. But like I said, with a cleaver, I mean, great, it chops really well, okay? But it's also got a good back handle for, driving into somebody's face. But like I said, I like the fact that if this is inserted, that you can actually run that around. Now, that's a cleaver. Now, this is a Marine Corps bolo, okay? Again, 1/4 inch thick, okay? And it's an old one. A Marine Corps bolo, a lot of times they were used in hospitals. They were used for, removing bones, arms, legs. Out in the field, you wouldn't, if somebody had a really bad injured leg, they would just remove the leg with a bolo. Now it seems kind of gross, but it worked. It would save their life. So it's a lot of times they refer to these as hospital bolos. This is a heavy duty one, and it is a Marine Corps bolo. It's got a nice, heavy duty sheath with it, and it's a good hacker. Okay, it's got a rounded tip that is, fairly sharp, so you can cut in and slice that out. Okay, you can chop with it. Okay, there wouldn't be very much of a you wouldn't need really anything else like carrying an axe or something of that type. If you were carrying one of these in the field, great machete. It's got a lot of tip weight. Okay, so and it's got a fairly substantial handle. Now, self-defense wise, it's going to be slower because it is heavy, but it will get the job done. Now, this is one of my personals, okay? This is a Robinson machete, full 1/8 inch thick, okay? World War II. I put the stag handle on it, and I'm still trying to work that out a little bit, but the other handle was destroyed. This is very heavy, okay? Very heavy. Strong, you're not gonna bend it. Is it good for self-defense? It's good for chopping brush. It's good for chopping little trees. If you have to get it to the point where you insert and you run that tip, it's going to do the damage. If I chop here and I remove a arm, not that I would want to, it always comes down to the totality of the situation. If your life is on the line and you say, well, I wouldn't want to take someone's life, well, it depends on what is trying to take your life, and you should always weigh with the I guess the judicial system on your side. So if you're carrying something like this, it doesn't mean I always have to use the edge of the blade. Okay, a lot of times I can use the back of the blade, which can essentially knock them out. I don't always have to cut, but very substantial. Okay, a lot of weight. This sheath, I've kind of made this sheath where it fits what I'm interested in, which is, this carries my buck 110, okay? It's not in there right now. and this carries my sharpening stone. Uh, you know, I can carry this. I can carry this like that. I can carry this like that. Okay, I can carry it, or I can carry it here on my side. These horizontal pieces. It's not that you would carry this Scout. It's a little bit too big to be carrying Scout, but you could strap this on the back of your Jeep, and you know, it would be nice. But you know, that's kind of my handiwork on making sheaths, and this is just kind of a different type. But so anyway, that kind of gives you an idea on chopping tools. Okay, you have to decide: do you want to carry an axe? Well, if you carry an axe, a lot of times I would recommend carrying an axe that the handle will come out of, maybe like a throwing axe, that you could take the axe out or the handle off and actually carry it on your side. So if you do need it, and keep it razor sharp, it's great. But carrying an axe is going to have limited possibilities, to where if you get into a small cleaver like this is going to be able, you'll still be able to baton this, okay? If I come up to a piece of wood and I hit this, it's going to split that wood. That's called batoning, okay? You hit here, and that makes your kindling. So the little cleaver is going to do that. But also, this is fairly sharp. But I can also skin with this. I can also fillet with this to a certain extent. And it does have enough hook bill here to where I can actually get in and dig with that. With that rounded tip, you can, you know, control people. And it does have a nice puño edge here, end here, so that I can pop somebody. You have to decide on what you're going to carry, especially if you're out in the woods, and do you want to carry a axe with you, or do you want to carry a machete with you? I recommend, if you're going to be out carrying something, you know, if you're going to be out in the woods, carry something substantial. Don't carry just a small little knife, because you never know when something's going to happen that you're going to need a bigger knife. Now, keep in mind, a bigger knife doesn't always mean that if I'm carrying this Marine Corps bolo, that I can do all this fancy stuff with it. No, I can't. This is for very basic, you know, chopping, okay, for splitting, removing brush, okay, cutting snakes' heads off, okay, things of that type. Now, so you have to figure out what you're going to carry, and that's what the cool part about this one is, okay? Great machete, got a buck 110, got a sharpening stone. What more do you need, okay? Now, I can add to this. I could add a little tin down here that has matches and has fishing line. How much do you want on it? Okay, I could come over here and I could add another strap over here and put a flashlight. How much stuff are you going to be wanting to carry on your person when you're out and about? You know, because every time you're out and about, there's always going to be that opportunity, I guess, to use your self-defense skills. Even if that self-defense skills is protecting against a rattlesnake, that's still self-defense skills. If I'm trying to if I get tangled up in brush or vines or something, I have to have something I can cut myself away. You know, so if I'm trying to make kindling, you know, to start a little fire, if I get lost, I have to have something that's going to help me in that area. So decide what it is that you need, make a list, and say, what do I really need? Okay, I need something that's got some weight. Okay, I need something that maybe I can, you know, have a point on it. Of course, if you're like me, you know, I always carry a secondary knife that's got a point. So I will always have, you know, the extra knives on me. But as far as hackers, you know, and I say hackers, it could be a cleaver, it could be a Marine Corps bolo, it could be a machete. And these are different than carrying an axe. A lot of times axes can be somewhat dangerous. And I say dangerous because if you don't have eye-hand coordination, And if you miss something, you could hit your leg. To where these you have a little bit more control over. Machetes you have a little bit more control over. So just keep it in mind. Cleavers. Okay, this is a nice small one, and it is manageable, and it's got enough weight that I can cut anything. So when you're out and about and you're looking at survival, you're looking at just being a prepper or whatever it is. But until that point, I will see you guys on the next video, and thank you for subscribing.